Are we starting to land?
No, not yet. The important thing is there's no need to panic. I've contained the situation.
The situation?
Yeah. See, we lost the pilots.
Where do they go?
Oh, they're dead.
Dead?
Yeah, they were shot.
Who shot them?
It was me. I shot him. Well, I shot the first pilot, and then he accidentally shot the second pilot, and it's one of those things. Okay, I'm relieved. You're taking this rather well, given the situation.
Wait, where are you going?
Oh, I'm just gonna go check on things in the cockpit, and just see about maybe finding a place to land. I'll just be up here. You may want to put your seatbelt on just for safety.
All right, well, this is night and day, folks. Let's get into it. Not bad.
Yeah. Oh,
man. Not bad at all.
I was worried there for a few minutes.
I thought our first take was pretty good. But
yes.
I feel like this one actually took the cake.
Well, thank goodness we had one trial run, and hey, that's what we get.
And now,
it's perfection.
Now I want cake. All right, so like some of the other movies that we've talked about, this was the first time I had watched the movie. I had heard of it, but I don't think that I ever actually saw it, and I don't know why. It was actually a pretty good movie.
It is a great movie. You and I were talking when I first got here. I don't know why people hated it so much. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I enjoy it every time I see it.
I haven't talked to any of those people, so I want to say I talked to my brother because I told him that we were going to do this movie, and he said that he had seen it and he thought it was pretty good too. So I don't know.
Okay, good.
Everybody has their own taste.
Yeah.
But I don't know of any like Tom Cruise movie that I haven't really liked, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people may have disliked it because I think around the time it came out is when he did that whole weird thing like on Oprah when he jumped up and down on the couch.
Katie Holmes thing.
Yeah.
I think that was it on Oprah or was it on Ellen?
It was both. He did it on both.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of I realized that after seeing this movie, I was on cruise control.
Oh yeah.
Let him take the wheel.
There you go.
Boy, coin in it.
There you go. So what, as per usual, it's tradition. What's one of your favorite scenes?
One of my favorite scenes is when they go to pick up Simon in the warehouse, but Simon's already left, and he's playing like Hall & Oates, Private Eyes. Mm-hmm. That song's playing, and then you, it's not the SWAT team, but it's like that Spanish guys, like assault team that shows up to kind of, they want to neutralize the situation.
You never know whose team it's part of.
Yeah, but he drugs her. And he was like, yeah, no, we're like, because, he knows we're about to get captured. So, and she just kind of comes to, and you see Tom Cruise hanging upside down, swinging back and forth in the doorway. And he's like, hey, June. He's like, I know this looks bad right now, but don't worry. We'll be out of here in a few minutes. I got this.
That is a great scene. There's a couple of good moments when they're in that warehouse.
Yeah.
Like, first of all,
when he leaves her alone with the machine gun.
Yes.
And he was like, I'll be right back. And then he comes up behind her and he's like, June. She just turns around and starts firing. He's like, June. And then finally catches the gun. She was like, just stop saying my name. Stop saying my name. It's really freaking me out.
She's like awkwardly holding it looks like an Uzi almost.
Yeah.
This is like probably like a submachine gun, but she's holding it awkwardly against her chest, and then she hears a noise, and she's like, ah! But yeah, she just starts shooting like up in the air and then down at the ground, and like I'm surprised she didn't kill him in the process. June. But the two of them are leaning up against the wall, and he's like, all right, on the count of 3, we're gonna head over towards those shelves. Yeah. And then I'll lay down some cover fire or whatever. And then he says 1, and she starts panicking.
Yeah, she gets up and runs off, and all these shots around her, and she comes back, and she was like, sorry, I panicked. And he's
Is there another number you'd rather?
She's like, no, we'll just stick with 3.
So I guess
I do like that he tries to build up her confidence a lot. Like, so at the very beginning, they're on the plane crash. And I had noticed it when I watched. I've noticed it when I watch it every single time. But you also pointed it out. I was like, after they crash land the plane, it kind of like falls on its side a little bit. But you just see Cameron Diaz in the back, and you know how much I love noises.
Yep.
She's just like,
which it's funny because because we're old and we watch movies with the captions on. It says. Whines and then whimpers and then pants. It's whimpers pants, but it sounds like like, what the fuck is going on?
But so he drugs her in the field I think they were in Wichita, I believe. But he drugs her after they get off the plane, and she wakes up back at home, and she's just like, oh wow. And you just, I guess, kind of have a feeling like, maybe I dreamed it. But then she has all like these little notes around her place about I think the first note that she reads, it's like, it was really nice to meet you, June, signed Roy. And then she gets up and goes downstairs, and she reaches in her pocket, and it's like, have a good breakfast. And he made her an omelet. And then he hears the knocking on the door, and as she goes down to answer it, when Rodney's knocking on the door, there's a sign that's like, remember, don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
But then I do like the scene in the restaurant, or in the diner, when she, after the dress fitting, and they're in that diner, and Roy shows up. And she's trying to tell Rodney, like, this is the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy.
What's that?
This is the guy. He's like,
I'm the guy?
This is the guy. And he's like, I'm sorry, who are you? And he's like,
I'm the guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
Yeah. But then he tells him, he's like, look, Rodney, for your own safety, stay in the booth. And then he handcuffs her, pulls out the gun. He's like, all right, everybody. He was like, just get down. He's like, this will all be over in a minute. And then it's funny because like the waiter is right behind him and accidentally drops something, and it breaks. So he turns around and kicks him, and he was like, oh, no, sorry. He's like, I thought you were making a move. Thought he was making a move. He was like, pie for everybody. He's like, that's it. Pie for everyone. He's like, no ice cream, a la mode. He was like, nope, it weakens the legs, people. Lincoln knew it, and they got to him. It's like, now nobody follow us, or I kill myself and then her.
That whole scene it's funny because it's like, yeah, he's doing all this stuff. He's doing it for her own protection, though. Yeah. Because if he takes her as hostage, it's captured on all the surveillance cameras. It makes the news, and then she doesn't look like an accomplice,
right,
to any of this stuff that's going on. So it's all part of the plan, folks.
Yep,
all part of the plan. But when he's talking to Rodney, who's a firefighter, he's trying to make him feel more comfortable about the situation first before he has to take her hostage. He's like, you have got a lot of respect for the firefighters. He's like, I used to want to be a firefighter myself.
I do like that he says, he was like, frankly, I don't think you guys get paid enough. And he's like, we don't.
He immediately agrees. Yeah,
you're on engine 10, right? And he was like, yeah. He's like, oh, you taking your lieutenant exam yet? And he's like, nah, it's a bitch.
It's a bitch.
He was like, what's that hall, that famous hall? And he's like, oh, Grove Hall. Yeah. He's like, oh, House of Flames. It's like they're instantly becoming best friends.
Do you want to go do karate in the basement? Yep.
But then when they're leaving, and then Rodney comes out and he's like calling it in, And then he sits there and he's like, Rodney, don't. So he shoots him in the leg and he falls over and he was like, hey, he's like, look, nowhere near the femoral artery. I missed all the vital organs. He's like, you're going to be okay. It's a through and through.
Through and through.
Yeah. So then he's sitting there talking. He was like, hey, it's going to be way better than Grove Hall. He's like, you good? You good? And he gives him the thumbs up and he's like, walk away, giving him the thumbs up. And then she was like, you shot Rodney. And he was like, yeah. But in all fairness, I did tell him to stay in the booth.
It's his fault.
Yep.
He could have prevented all of this.
Yep. He's like, this will be way better than Grove Hall for him. It was like, shot in the line of duty. He's like, probably get a promotion.
Yeah, so I do like the stuff on the plane. It's kind of interesting how that whole thing plays out. So you don't know what's going on exactly, but you see Tom Cruise's character, who, Roy, that's not his actual name. It's not his birth name, at least, but he goes by Roy Miller. But he bumps into her at the airport. Twice? It's starting to become a habit.
Yep.
And you don't know why initially.
Right.
But as she goes to board her flight, he says, I'm sorry, ma'am, the flight's full. And she's like, but I just booked it like 10 minutes ago. And
yeah.
She's like, well, I'm sorry. It's
there's another flight tomorrow.
Yeah, and because she's trying to plead like, well, my sister's getting married tomorrow. Like, I can't miss this flight. She's like, oh, that's so sweet. But you'll be able to get a flight first thing in the morning. You'll make it just in time for the wedding or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Roy is right behind her, hands the boarding pass and says, some things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
It's like, that's his way of subtly telling her that, you probably shouldn't be on this flight.
Right.
You don't find that out until later on, though. But
I do like when he explains it later, and he was like, June, I did try to warn you. And she was like, when? He was like, before you got on the plane, I said sometimes things happen for a reason. And then she was like, that's not a warning. She's like, oh, that's not a warning at all. She was like, that's just like a friendly little, oh, ha 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 type of thing. She was like, if you want to warn someone, you say, June, if you get on this plane, you will fucking die.
Yeah. She's not one for subtleties.
No.
That's for sure. But she gets on the plane, it's like empty. And she's like, no wonder these places the airplane's not making any money. It's like, there's nobody on here.
Exactly.
At all. But she orders a drink. It's like basically like a tequila on the rocks. And it's like a lot of turbulence.
Yeah.
And she doesn't understand like what's going on. But she goes to have a small little chit chat with Roy, and then ends up going to the bathroom.
Well, that's because she ends up spilling like some of her drink on her shirt. Yeah. And she was like, I got to go just to the bathroom really quick and get this cleaned up.
She's like, well, let me help you.
Yeah.
I thought that could have come across kind of creepy, but like, why? You're a stranger.
They already had that conversation though when he was talking about like, just think of all the things I haven't done. Like deep sea dive and the Great Barrier Reef. And then that one, he was like, kiss a stranger
on the balcony at
the Hotel de Coup. And then she was like, where's that? And he's like, south of France. But then when she's in the bathroom, she was like, kiss a stranger?
Hotel de Coup?
Yeah. It's like, what kind of line is that? And then it cuts back to him fighting the people on the plane. It goes back to her, and she's like,
it's a really good line.
Really good line.
She's like, are you going to waste this opportunity? No.
Nope, this is not your first rodeo.
You're going to go back out there, and you're going to do what you need to do.
Yep. I like...
But yeah, he's fighting all these guys that were sent to either capture him or kill him, one of the two.
Yeah, because you find out later that he has something called the Zephyr, which is just a small little battery, but it's a battery that runs on like perpetual energy.
So it'll never run out. It's strong enough to power a small city or a really large submarine.
But when he's telling June about it, he's like, this is what everyone wants. And he has it hidden in like a little knight.
Yeah, he got the souvenir from the airport.
Yeah. And then
she calls it a Burger King toy.
Yeah, she was like, what, a Burger King toy? He's like, no, open it up. I think another dynamic that I really love in the movie is Roy's parents. You don't really know who they are at first. You kind of find out later.
Because periodically throughout the movie, you see him hold up his phone, and then it's like movement detected or something, and then it's like a satellite image of a house, and then he does something where it shows like the inside of the house, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's like you see he's checking on somebody.
You just don't know who it is.
Right.
You just kind of figure maybe it's a safe house, like a family he's taking care of for however long, and then you find out that he is actually taking care of a family because it's his parents.
Now, I don't remember, like, she sees the address, I think, at one point, but
yeah,
for her to be able to commit it to memory, I don't know how she finds the house.
Well, she just remembered the address because when she types in the address, it's literally like 2 days after she saw it. So she just kind of remembers, like, 5826 Amapola Road. And then she's like, oh, it's just like an hour from here. So she just boxes up a few parts from her shop because she restores old cars. And she's taking it, and because she saw that the movement detected, and she was like, that's a 67 Grand Prix. It's like, that's a good car. So she just goes out there because she figures these people probably know where Roy is.
Or that he might be there, actually.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
I like well, first of all, the beginning of the movie, she's at some junkyard, like a scrap yard.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to find parts to finish restoring an old car that she worked on with her dad,
GTO.
With her dad.
The goat?
Well, wait, is that her dad at the shop, or is that
no?
Just a friend or something?
Yeah, it's just an employee. Probably an employee
passed.
Probably an employee that worked with her dad.
Which is weird because one of the scenes, he looks like an old version of like Alan Thicke.
Oh my God!
But like does. Run through the ringer. Yeah. But I'm like, that can't be.
That's not right.
But she gets all these car parts and puts them in her suitcase, and she doesn't check the bag. She brings it on the plane with her. But it's like, that thing's got to weigh a ton.
Yeah, well, even they asked her, they're like, oh, are you checking that bag? And she's like, no, I'm going to carry it on.
It's got a lot of valuables.
It's got a lot of valuables. And then when they're going through, he's like, what is this? And he was like, oh, that's a carburetor for, 1967 Classic. And then he was like, what about these? And she's like, oh, those are muffler tips for a 1964 Impala. And then he's like, oh. And she's like, I restore old cars.
Yeah. And this hair dryer.
But no, I do like his parents, because when she shows up with the box, she was like, I got the pistons that you ordered for the 67 Grand Prix. And so the husband turns around and looks at his wife, and he's like, Molly, I didn't order any parts on anything. And she was like, oh, you don't know what you're typing on that computer.
She says it multiple times too. She just blames him for everything. Yeah. And then we won the Publishers Clearinghouse.
She was like,
twice.
Yeah. And then she was like, oh, and then we won a couple scratch-off tickets that Frank here doesn't even remember buying. He's like, that's because I didn't buy them. And then she was like, oh, you don't know what you're typing on that thing.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I mean, but it's so funny because you just sit there and think to yourself, it's like,
how do you accidentally buy this stuff?
How do you accidentally buy scratch tickets that you don't remember buying on the computer?
You can't buy scratch-offs online. You have to go to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah. But then and then again at the very end, when they're heading down to Cape Horn because, he's like, oh, well, she's taking him away from the life of a CIA agent, and she's like, yeah, no, we're going to Cape Horn. But then it shows his parents at the outside of his parents' house, and she was like, look, Frank, we got 2 tickets to Cape Horn, South America. And she's like, did you buy these? And he's like, I didn't buy anything. Oh, you never know what you're typing on that computer.
Like, mind your business, devil woman. Couple moments that I like. So right after he crash lands the plane, he gives her a little bottle. He says, here. She's like, what's this? She's like, he says it'll take the edge off.
Yeah.
And so she just downs it without even thinking twice. And he's like, all right, June, there's a few things that we gotta lay out here for you. It's like, there's gonna be some people that are gonna be coming after you now. It's like, they're gonna introduce themselves as agents. They're gonna sound real professional, real convincing and everything. If they ever try to get you to go into a vehicle, don't get into the vehicle. He's like, and he's like, it's really important that you do this stuff like before you fall asleep. She's like, I feel funny. And he's like, it'll wear off after you wake up.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? Did you drug me?"
He's like,
it's for your own good.
It's for your own good. But then I like it when he's telling her, he's like, you need to listen out for these keywords. They'll say something along the lines like, we've stabilized the situation. We're bringing you to a secure location. Don't worry, you're going to be safe.
You're going to be safe.
He was like, and if they use these in a repetitive sentences, he's like, that means they're going to kill you.
Or they're going to take you to I don't remember where he says, but he's going to take you somewhere to a remote location. But then again, in the warehouse, he drugs her again.
Yeah.
And
because he tells her, he's like, here, just take this. I mean, because he knows that they're about to get captured.
Oh, because he says that they're gonna drop smoke or some kind of spray, and so he hands it to her. In her mind, she's thinking, oh, this will make me immune to the smoke or whatever.
And then she's like, where's yours? And she's like, oh, not again.
But what's funny is, it's for your own good. Like, once again, it's for your own good. So she's in this drug-induced status where she comes to every once in a while. So she's only seeing bits and pieces. So it's funny because at one point they're on a plane. They have to go skydiving. She's like we're gonna be great. He's like, you got this. Like, ready, go. Yeah. And then she falls out of the plane and then passes out. Wakes up. They're on a speedboat. And she's only catching all these little tiny glimpses. And then they end up on his little private island. Yeah. And so she gets up. She finally comes to, and she comes out. She's wearing a bikini. And
you see him coming out of the ocean like with a spear gun and 2 huge fish. And then he was like, oh, hey, good sleepyhead. Yeah, it's good timing. He was like, have lunch ready in a few minutes. And then she was like,
how long have I been out?
Oh, 18 hours.
What's weird, I don't know if you noticed this or not. After the plane crash, he takes his shirt off, and she's like, oh, like you've been shot or whatever. He's like, oh, no, it's just a scrape. Yeah. She's like, well, you need to go to the hospital or prison or something like that. But he comes out of the water. You don't see a scratch. You don't see a scar or anything.
I know.
It's like, what? Does this guy have like Wolverine blood or like what's going on here? But she's questioning the bikini and how she got into the bikini.
He's like, June, I've been trained to dismantle a bomb in pitch black with nothing but a paperclip and a Junior Mint. I think I can get you in and out of a bikini without looking.
I'm not saying that's what I did.
I'm not saying that's what I did.
She goes and throws a punch at him, and like he grabs her fist. Sorry, reflex.
Yeah, reflex. He was like, you know what? That was totally deserved. He was like, you want to hit me? I won't block it.
I won't block it. Go ahead.
Then she just turns around and storms off. So that's where she learns the address. Right. Because she has his shirt on.
Yeah, and she has both her phone and his phone there.
And then when the plane shows up and it starts bombing the island, you just see him, and he was like, I don't get it. We came in clean.
I didn't make any calls.
Yeah, he's like, my phone's secure. And he was like, so I didn't make any calls. And he was like, I know you didn't make any calls. And then she was like, I didn't make any calls, but I took a call.
It was just a quick one.
Yeah. But right before that, she told him, she was like, don't drug me anymore. And then he's like uncovering the helicopter. And she was like, oh, no, I can't get in that. I can't get in that. And she was like, just drug me. Just give me the thing. And then he puts his hand on her neck. And she was like, why is your hand on my neck? He's like,
she told me not to drug you.
Oh, thanks.
But then she passes out.
I mean, if you actually look at it, she spends a good portion of the movie drugged and asleep.
Yeah.
And just like in these various states.
The car chase scene is actually pretty funny.
Yes.
Because she does exactly what she was told not to do.
Yep. She gets in a car to go to a secure location because they've stabilized the situation and they're going to keep her safe.
They're going to keep her safe. Yeah.
Yep.
I do like, because this is the day where she's getting fitted for the dress.
Yes.
And so majority of the time she's in this hideous yellow dress.
Right.
And which is funny because this all happens right before she meets with Rodney at that cafe.
Yeah.
And he even says, she's like, but that's a dress. But she's still wearing her boots from before.
Yeah.
She's like, don't worry, I'll wear the heels on the day.
Yep. But I do like when she's in the back of the car and she was like, where are you taking me? And he was like, somewhere safe. And then she was like, I mean, but where exactly? And he was like, don't worry, ma'am. We'll keep you safe. And she was like, you already said that. And he was like, that's because I meant it.
Yeah. I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
Oh, the dots on your back.
Yeah. Then he ducks so the driver gets shot and killed.
Yeah, so...
But I do like when he falls onto the hood. Like, you just see that police motorcycle, and then that launches out in the air, lands into, like, a Serenity Pond or something. Roy lands on the hood, and he's like, hi, June. It's just like, open the door, June. And she was like, I can't see, out of the way. And he was like, just open the door, June.
It's like, that's a nice dress.
Yeah, it's a real nice dress. She was like, your sister's wedding, right? Yeah, open the door. But,
June, open the door. Open the door so I can help you.
But yeah, I do like, because something happens and he gets thrown off of the car and lands on that van. And then he gets on top of the van and he's going to jump. But then all of a sudden, like a Wonder Bread truck appears out of nowhere. And she's just still driving.
Yeah, he's about to jump from one car to the next. And this truck goes in between the cars out of nowhere. And you think that he just jumps and slams right into this other truck.
But then as she passes the truck, you just see a convertible. And then his head pops up out of the back seats. And I honestly tell you the truth, I think if you watch the regular version, because the one that I watched was the extended cut.
That's the one I watched too.
Yeah, so
I was going to ask you that.
There was like the very beginning when she's in the scrapyard. I don't think that's in the original. I think it starts off at the airport. And then I think that scene there, because I think he's on the van, but I think he just goes from the van back to the car in the regular version. So it's weird. There were a few things that were kind of extended.
Yeah. So she tells him, like, after he gets into the car, they make their getaway and everything. And she's like, so, like, she's basically telling him that she doesn't feel safe. He's like, did you feel safe with them? And she's like, well, safer than I do right now.
Yeah.
And so he pulls into this parking garage and
I like the way,
get to the very top.
I like the way he whips perfectly right into the parking space.
I did notice that. That was good.
He was like, all right, fine. He was like, that's it, fine. You want to go off on your own? He's like, yeah, I wouldn't suggest going back home. He's like, with me, your chances are up here. Without me, down here. With me?
Without me. With me? Without me. He's like, he says something strange. And I don't know why he words it the way that he does. And I'm not going to get it right verbatim. But he says something about, I need somebody that trusts me. Like, I need somebody that...
Oh, no. What he's saying is... because they start talking, the feds start talking to her about this kid, Simon Feck. And they're like, did he mention Simon Feck? And she was like, I don't know who that is. Because he didn't mention anything about it.
No.
But then he's sitting there saying, he was like, you're doing all these things I told you not to do. He was like, and now I have to make sure that you're safe. He was like, but there's someone out there that counts on me, that trusts me. And every minute I'm here trying to save you, I'm letting him down.
Yeah, like... I can't be chasing you, like forever, this kind of thing. So
and then that's when they go to see Simon.
But like, it kind of sinks in, and she ends up getting back into the car with him.
Yeah, I think that alone is just kind of like where it kind of builds up. They build up that relationship. Like, okay, I can trust you, but then it shows later because she thinks that Roy actually gets killed because she betrays Roy. Dun, dun, dun. Spoiler alert. Because, she follows them when they're in France or Paris or wherever they are. But she follows him, and then you see the ever so hot Gal Gadot. Love it.
Yes, we will never agree on how to pronounce her name.
Nope. But, I just wanted it to rhyme.
Yeah. The ever so hot Gal Gadot.
Yep. See? It's fun to say.
It is fun to say. I will never agree that that's how you say it, though.
Yeah, you probably say it some weird ways. It's Gal Gadot.
It is Gal Gadot.
It's
on YouTube. It's the pancake breakfast.
Well, then it's got to be true.
It has to be.
If it's on YouTube.
It's on the interwebs. You got to believe everything you see there.
Lincoln knew it. That's why they got to him.
I'm wondering, like... Because I don't know if this movie came out. Movie came out in 2010.
Yeah.
If this was before like any of like the Wonder Womans or... She did have that.
I believe so, because I think that the first Wonder Woman was kind of like 13 or 14. I believe. The second one is 1984.
Well, before the Wonder Woman movie, I want to say that she was in one of the Batman movies.
I think so. But I think still that might even have been a little bit later.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, Ron.
Roy, whatever your name is.
Yeah,
because they do end up in Paris, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then he has to go meet up with this contact because
he's going to sell the Zephyr. At least that's what he wants June. Sorry, folks, I'm taking my hat off. It's kind of driving me crazy.
It's okay.
So if there's any background noise, I'm terribly sorry.
Well, they heard all the airplanes and the cars driving by earlier, so you taking your hat off is not going to make or break this episode.
You find out later that Roy knew that she would follow him. So he set up that entire phone call so she would betray him so he could get her back to her normal life in time for her sister's wedding.
Yeah. He was doing everything that he did was deliberate.
Yes.
She did not know that.
No, had no idea. But then I like it when she figures all this out and then she's like, she calls her own house and leaves a message on her own. And she was like, "This is June Havens. I'm leaving a message on my own machine for whoever's listening. I have the Zephyr." But then she just has like an alkaline battery from a flashlight.
Yeah, but it worked because she ends
tells
up
them
parked on the side of some highway.
Yeah, and then she tells them where they are, and they show up. But it's so funny because she gets out, and she was like, "Yep, I have what you want right here." And then she was like, "So let's do this." And then that guy comes up and throws the hood on her face, and then again another little noise.
Not again.
Yeah, but another little noise because she like right when the hood goes on, she's like, "Ah."
So
but then she goes to see Tony, or they bring her to see Tony, and then he was like, "Where's the real Zephyr?" He was like, "Because we both know that what you gave my men is a joke."
Did you drug me again?
It's like, "Oh, it's a new truth serum that we're working on," and she was like, "I really don't like you," and he's like, "The truth." One thing that drove me crazy about that guy, I don't know if you noticed it. I don't think I ever really noticed it until this morning when I was watching it. The size of the vein on his forehead.
I never noticed. I did not notice that
it's
at
like
all.
a highway.
What's weird is he was talking to a couple of his goons. And they were like surveilling like what was going on. And then he's talking to them in Spanish. And then one of them, he talks to him in English. It's like, why are we switching it up? What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. But it's funny because she was like,
"I don't know, boss. What are we supposed to do?"
But I think it's funny because he was like, "Well, why did you do this?" And she was like, "Because I knew Roy would come for me." And
he's like, because wherever bad guys are, he's not far behind.
Yeah. And then he's funny because she was just like, Antonio. She was like, "Have you ever made a girl an omelet?" You probably haven't. It's like whore gotten her to her sister's wedding on time. It's the little things.
And she's really like, "Shut up." Like, stop talking. It's like, because it's like making him feel kind of jealous or something. But I do like that one moment where Roy does show up again and he's trying to help the two of them escape and everything. And at one point she randomly says, "God, sex would be really good right now."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did they drug you?"
He was like, "Did they give you something?" And she was like, "Mm-hmm." He's like, "You should hydrate."
Yeah.
"I'll just hold these goons off. Why don't you run to the kitchen, look in the refrigerator, see if there's a bottle of agua or something."
Which is funny. While they were on the island, he has that line. He's like, he hands her a coconut. He's like, "Loaded with electrolytes." Yeah. And this is like right before she's about to punch him in the face.
And then, but I do like that he's, she's standing in the doorway, and he was like, "Come on, June." He's like, runs to a wall, and he was like, turns around, and he's like, "All right, you and I." He's like, June, come on, over here. And then runs across, and all these people are firing at him. He's like, "June, come on." And then she was like, "Roy, it just really doesn't feel like you're happy to see me." And then he was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, you just don't look like you're happy to see me." And then he just slowly walks back across like a hail of gunfire. Every bullet misses him.
"I don't have time for this."
And he just walks up and kisses her. And he was like, "Very happy to see you."
better.
Now can we move?
I like the train, like the whole scene with the train.
Yes.
Now, because this is still a fresh movie for me, I don't remember how exactly she got onto the train, but
That's when she wakes up after he put his hand on her neck.
Oh, okay.
For the helicopter. She woke up on the train. But it was funny because I like it when she's waking up and she's just kind of like rolling over and she's like, hands like Houdini. Because he taught her how to escape out of that hold or whatever.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I didn't catch that. But yeah, she's on the train and then she knows a few things. That they're trying to find Simon.
Right.
And that she's not supposed to answer her phone.
Right.
For anything. And her phone rings, but she's standing, she goes to the bar on the train and she's standing next to this guy. And he makes some remark about...
you're like statistically
more
10 more times likely to die on a train than any other mode of transportation.
He's like, yeah, you're actually like 3 times more likely to die on a train than on an airplane or something like that. He's like, you Simon?
Simon? And he was like...
Simon Feck?
He's like, mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's like, oh, where's Roy? Have you seen Roy yet? And he's like, not yet.
Not yet. Where is he?
Not yet. He was like, yeah, what do we do here? He's like, do we wait for him here? Do we go and find him? And she was like, oh, I don't know. But he had left that note for her, and her phone keeps ringing, and it just says unknown number. And she's like, oh. And then he's like...
You should probably answer that, right?
Yeah. And then she was like, no, Roy told me not to.
He's like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true. He's like, yeah, because they could trace this signal. And then he was like, yeah, it's true. He's like, well, it could be Roy. And she was like, yeah, I don't know. But then she looks on the bottom of her shoe and sees the note that he had written her. And he said, stay in car. I'm with Simon, Roy. And then like, you know, she's like, oh, I'll be right back. She's like, order me one of those drinks because it looks delicious.
It looks like a Harry Wallbanger or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then so she goes running off and the guy starts following her. And I like it because it shows Roy and Simon back in the car that she was in. And Simon's trying to tell him, like, you know, something very important about the battery that he created. But then Roy the whole time is just like, she's not in here. She's not answering her phone.
He's like,
that's actually a good thing.
The battery's kind of hot.
But the whole time he's just like totally ignoring Simon. And
Something's
he's just like,
not right here.
And he's just sitting there and he was like, yeah,
we got to cool it off.
I told her not to answer her phone, but that's a good thing. So she's not answering the phone. He's like, but
it's not working.
Where would she be?
Something's wrong.
I left the note right here.
We got to do something about the Zephyr.
She probably could be hungry. It's like, all right. So then they get up and go. And
she ends up in the kitchen car.
Yeah.
And
I like the chef because he was like, what are you doing in here? Or however he talked.
She's like, I think I'm getting train sick.
You mind if I just hang out here?
If I stay here? She's like, sure. Let me get you some water. And then as he kind of, you know, backs up and then he falls forward and there's a knife in his back. And it's the guy she thought was Simon right there. She's like, what? You killed him? He's like, no, you killed him. Then he says something in German. I don't like what?
I don't know. Like probably like
as if she was gonna understand him.
Yeah, like I'm gonna kill you too. But then they're doing all this fighting, and then when he turns around, there's just Simon, and he was like, "Oh, I was just looking for a cup of ice."
And so yeah, Roy and Simon end up in that same car, and June asked like, "Who is he?" He's like, "Oh, he's a platinum assassin."
Yeah.
Platinum grade assassin. Like, I didn't know there were grades.
I do like when he's sitting there talking to him, and I mean, this guy just ends up kicking the shit out of Roy. But it's funny because like the first time he just throws him up against the wall and he's like, it's okay. I got this.
Do you though?
Really doesn't look like it. But he gets June, the assassin gets June in that hand lock and everything, and she's like, hands like Houdini, and breaks out of it but hits the cutting board, and that knife flies up and hits him in the chest, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
But you were trying to kill me. Yeah, but then Roy comes too, and then he ends up kicking him like out the train window.
And he's holding on to like that
the sausages.
Yeah, the sausages.
And then this is where Simon's like, just die. And then he gets hit by the passing train. I don't know why that line is so funny. I think it's because you don't expect it from him because, this kid is a genius.
Yeah.
Which means he's socially awkward.
Right.
So you wouldn't expect him to have like a funny line like that, and I think that's why it came across the way that it did. It's like, just die. But
I do like...
I don't know if people will recognize him. And as of the timing of this episode, the movie is available on Max. You said you saw something about like Last Chance, but I didn't notice that at all when I watched it.
Okay. I mean, maybe I saw it on something different.
So as of right now, it is available to watch on Max. So,
yes.
But I just wanted to throw that out there before it slipped my mind.
Yeah.
Because I might be drugged again.
Yeah, I mean, so many funny parts in this movie that all just kind of come together. And at the beginning after they get away and she's still in that yellow dress and everything, and when she finally does open up the door and he's able to get in, after and she's telling him, she was like, please just stop shooting people, and he's like, oh, okay. And I think
I know what you're talking about.
I think he does have that weird line though, because he goes into the trunk and finds that submachine gun, and he's like, these guys are ready for bear. It's weird. It's such a weird, awkward line. Bear. Yeah, ready for bear. We're in Boston.
But he's like,
come on.
There are no bears.
Yeah, there are no bears. There are no bears in Boston.
There's no bears.
But then she was like, just stop shooting people. And he was like, okay. He's like, I'm going to go have a conversation with the guys in the tunnel there. And he's like, I'm going to go shoot them. Yeah, I'm just going to go shoot them. But he stands up to walk away and he goes back down. He's like, oh yeah, June, by the way, your timing on opening that door
was sublime. But it wasn't.
I know.
She could have done it so much sooner. But I like how eventually, spoiler alert, folks, if you don't want to hear this, go ahead and stop it now, watch the movie, and then come back to this point.
Exactly.
How Roy ends up giving the bad guys the battery, and they get up on the helicopter, and then it blows up.
Yeah.
Because, he knew it was going to happen. It was a matter of time. So this whole time, he's been carrying a bomb, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
a small nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
But I do God, because it's just one of those points where it's like they could have just walked away. But Simon, the whole time, is like, Roy, don't. And, I mean, you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, like, no, let them take this small little nuclear weapon. They're going to die in a few minutes anyway.
Did you say nuclear?
Nuclear.
It's funny because I can't ever say nuclear correctly.
I don't nuclear.
Remember. Who messed that up? Was it W? Was it George W? That
Maybe.
Said nuclear?
I think so.
And
maybe.
Ever since that happened, I have to consciously think about how to pronounce it. It's not nuclear. It's nuclear. Damn it. But nuclear is fun to say. See, I can't even say it when I'm trying. What the hell? But I do like how. But
back to that real quick.
Yeah,
Simon just
right.
real fast. He's just like, no. And he's like, all right, fine. I'll just make another one. And then Roy's like, shut up, Simon.
It's like, I told you to stop talking.
Yeah, but then you see the back guy and he's like, another one. And it's so funny because you just want to sit there and look at him and be like, well, how fucking stupid are you idiot? Of course he could make another one. He's still alive. He has a brain.
He made one.
He's probably going to make more.
Dummy. But then it's like, he can make another one. Why are you going to shoot him?
Yeah.
Wouldn't another one be beneficial? You can make more money off of it.
And then you honestly sit there and think that, he had to have thought of it at one point because they thought that Roy got shot and killed, fell in the river, and they would never find his body. He had the Zephyr on him. So he's just like, oh, we'll tell Tony we're back on schedule. No, I don't have the battery, but I have the next best thing. So at some point he was like, oh, the kid will just make another one.
And it's weird how they keep referring to him as the boy because I want to say he was in his 20s maybe.
Yes,
even though
like
they do refer to him as high school age, but I feel like that was a while ago.
Well,
when he did something.
Well, when he's talking about the battery, when he first shows the battery to Cameron Diaz, when they stowed away on the car that was on that truck that transports cars, and he's talking about the battery, he was like, kid that invented it, barely out of high school. So
that's
you just
what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, so for those of you, if you may recognize him, but you may not know what he's from. He actually played the Riddler in the Robert Pattinson version of Batman.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one yet. But I recognized him from a few other movies. I think The Girl Next Door. I think he was in that.
Did he play a psycho?
No, he was like one of the main kids' friends.
Oh,
In it, because it's a movie about high school, like high school students. And God, I can't remember her name now. But
is it a comedy or is it a...
Yeah, it's a comedy.
See,
but
he looks like one of those people that would just be typecast as like a weirdo, like a
Well, what's funny is I saw him in another movie called Taking Lives, and he has like a really small bit part in it at the very beginning, and he plays a psychopath.
yeah,
So
par for the course.
it's fitting that you would say ipso facto.
Ipso facto.
Same thing. Beep, bop, boop.
Oh my God, we have issues. But I do like how June kind of gets, like, I'll do air quotes, payback
Yes.
on Roy, because he ends up getting shot and he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, when Roy comes to, because I think his phone rings.
Yeah, the
or
movement
something.
alert.
That's what it was, the movement alert on his phone.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and his, boss, I guess, at the agency wakes up and she uses those keywords.
Yeah.
Like
she's
safe
like,
and
tomorrow.
secure.
Yeah, she's like, tomorrow we'll move you to a secure facility. You'll be safe.
But
So-
but you don't get the impression, all right, something's not right.
Yeah. It's
You think maybe she realized, okay, well, we had the wrong guy, so everything's going to be good now, but Roy knows better.
Or could it be, I mean, Roy knows too much and he's killed a lot of people. We have to contain the situation.
Yes.
You never know.
The situation? But she June is posing as one of the nurses, but
Yeah.
Roy does not notice.
Yeah, he brings in like the nurse. You just see like a tray set down with like a little cup with liquid in it, and he drinks it, and he was like, immediately he's like, "Nurse, what did you give me?" And she's like, "Protein 10."
Well, because he's still hooked up to the heart monitor,
Yeah.
and as soon as he takes it, you hear his pulse increase.
Yeah,
And he's like, what's going what's
Yeah.
going on here? But yeah, so she drugs him, and then it's the same shit where
he's in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
I do like and he's in and out like quick, because like he's on the bed and I guess he's pulling the sheet down to like uncover, and she's like, "No, stay under there, Roy.
You're dead.
You're dead." And then she just goes running by, and she's like, "Taking her to the mortuary." And then they escape the hospital, and then she was like, "Nope, Roy, it's time for you to take a vacation."
Yeah, because she doesn't have access to helicopters and planes and
she only
speedboats.
she only has access to the GTO.
She has the GTO.
Yep.
So I'm trying to remember what she says, like when he comes to.
Well, she gets in, like she's at like a little roadside stand or whatever, and I guess buying a map, because she's never been to South America, so how would you know? So she comes running up to the car and gets in, and she was like, "Hey, sleepyhead," and he's like, "Where?" I was like, "What am I wearing?" She's like, "Shorts." He's like,
How did I get into the shorts?
She's like, "I've been trained to rebuild a 6-speed transmission with nothing but a pair of pliers and a crescent wrench. I think I can get you in and out of a pair of shorts without looking." Not saying that's what I did.
she uses all of his
Yep.
lines back on him.
And then she was like, "With me? Without me? With me? Without me?" And he's like, "With you." And she was like, "Okay, good. You are the navigator and the DJ."
Put on some tunes, man.
But it's funny because, when she took that one drug and she was like, "How long was I asleep?" And he was like, "Oh, 18 hours. So you like to think that he was asleep probably for right around the same amount of time. I mean, and they got far away in 18 hours because they were in Massachusetts when all this shit happened. And now they're like just into Mexico, or not Mexico, but South America. So
The math ain't math.
yeah, it's not mathing at all. But when he wakes up, he kind of like feels his chest, and you just see a scar on his chest, like no stitches, no bandage, like nothing. So
I'm telling you, man, he's
it's
got
weird.
Wolverine blood.
I know. It's got to be. It's something.
Is this a Marvel movie? I don't know,
man.
But yeah, overall, like I really enjoyed it. You know?
Yeah, it is a really good movie, and I mean, I think kind of a perfect one to do for Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
so
this is we were originally going to do America's Sweethearts, but we didn't want to pay to rent it because screw that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's America, damn it.
It's both.
But yeah, so I know it's not this super romantic movie, but
there's
some romance.
Yeah, there's some romance in there.
You got some stuff in there.
It's enough.
Well, anyway, definitely enjoyed talking about this one for sure.
Yes.
Another fun episode.
It was.
Until next time.
Quotable Podcast. Out. Don't worry. I got this.